Hello, my name is Wild Lee from Wild Lee Tarot, and this is your Moonday message for the week beginning December 14th, 2020. Welcome. We are in the dark moon today, as well as the final eclipse of this last eclipse portal. We had a full solar eclipse today in a different part of the world, but we are still feeling the effects of it collectively. I apologize if you hear that sound. My sidekick Finn is in the chair next to me. He might join us in this episode. So feeling into this week, we've got a really big week. First, we are stepping through and out of this eclipse portal, and now we are also moving towards the solstice in 1 week. This is a huge event. Normally solstices are huge just because they are. They are these turning points, these thresholds as we flip from one season clearly into another. We energetically really feel the shift. But this one in particular also is falling on the great conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter. So it has this mix of energies coming together that we are all going to collectively be feeling. This also is like the last major gateway as we're moving into 2021 and entering into the famed Age of Aquarius that has been out and about in astrology world and in our music and in our language for the last 40 or 50 years or so. So big week energetically. And when I pulled the cards, I was just like, oh yeah, that makes so much sense, right? So the main card for the energy this week that we will all collectively be feeling, navigating, working with is the moon. And this card is sometimes a little off-putting if you're not one who is used to moving in the flow, walking with great mystery, not having the plan in place. This is the card of moving in life, with our eyes closed, moving in the dark, really trusting what life is giving to us. It is one of the cards that is indicative of great mystery, of knowing that truthfully, even when we think we have a plan, we have everything dialed, life is still unexpected. Life isn't meant to be this clean, neat, tidy, safe thing. It is wild and adventurous and topsy-turvy, and sometimes it comes with big pain and disappointment, and then the next day or even the next minute we might have extravagant bliss and pleasure. It is a full spectrum of an experience, and it can't be fully taken in and integrated if we try to box it up into something really neat and tidy and perfect. And this is very much counter to the culture that we have all been indoctrinated into here in this country, where things are rated and given worth. They're given their worthiness based on how perfect they are, how much it costs, what impression it makes on other people. The moon doesn't care about any of those things. It is all about the liminality and the juicy edge of not knowing exactly what's coming around the corner. It's a card of being both spiritual and instinctual, of being in the moment, in this body as a spiritual being, and taking it all in, knowing that it is a ride for a reason. We walk this edge for a reason, so that we can feel alive. So that is the energy that's really present for us collectively this week. This invitation to walk our edge with grace and to allow great mystery to be in charge, to take the wheel, to guide us in this week of extraordinary energies coming our way that we may or may not yet have the capacity to fully hold. But we can have trust in the process. That's the phrase that I'm really hearing for this week. Trust in the process. And the support cards that came forward are 2 wands. And in my deck, for myself, wands represent air, which is also the element of Aquarius. So we're talking about intellect combining with intuition. We're talking about open-mindedness, expansiveness, really being available to whatever is moving in and out and through. And I see these once again as choice cards. The last few weeks we've been given 2 cards that offer us the divergent path. What direction are we moving? What direction is available to us? And we have the 4 of Wands and the 8 of Wands. The 4 of Wands speaks to play. It speaks to relaxing into what is and allowing ourselves to find pleasure in it regardless. I see this as path A. We can choose to let it be a curiosity, allow it to be fun, allow it to be a mystery that we aren't trying to solve, but we are simply allowing to unfold. That is one way we can take this edgy, electric, juicy energy that's available to us from now until the solstice and beyond. But it's very contained and potent and enlivened for us this week. So the first invitation, can we just look at it as nothing more than a moment? This week is just a week full of moments that might feel intense, that might feel uncomfortable, that might feel edgy. Can we look at that? Can we feel into that? Can we say, oh, why is this edgy for me? That's something I'd like to investigate. Or we have the second card, the second option, the 8 of Wands. This is another path, path B. Do we want to feel as though nothing is under our control? We've got nothing in our grasp. Everything is up in the air. We're just grasping and going and juggling and trying to pull things together to make sense when it just doesn't make sense. That's a choice. We can definitely go that way. It's not perfect. It's not the way I planned. I'm not getting the Yule or the Christmas or the Hanukkah that I preferred. I'm not going into this next year prepared the way I usually am. I'm not getting da-da-da-da-da-da. Whatever the story is for you, this is an option. We could feel like we're grasping. We can feel like nothing is safe, that nothing is contained. Or we can relax. We can lean into the 4. Which is more grounded, more stable, the bottom of a pyramid. And we can say, oh, Trixie Universe, giving me something to play with this week. Can I find my ground and my equanimity even in the midst of this? That is what the cards shared with me for us this week. And the stone that came forward is a Skeletal Quartz. And when this stone comes out for me, it lets me know that there is a propensity this week for us to possibly drop into either anxiety or depression. That's what this stone represents, that we can possibly get overwhelmed energetically, and if our coping mechanisms happen to be either the inertia of depression or the frenetic energy of anxiety, that this might be super around for you this week. So just planting that seed, heads up, if that's something that is part of your narrative, make sure you give yourself really good self-care this week. Take good care and know that it is not just you. It's not just your story. It is literally in the field. When we step into the moon, when we step into the unknown in this way, it can trigger old patterns and habits of ways in which we used to comfort ourselves or take care of ourselves when we found ourselves in places that we didn't know how to do those things, right? So depression can often settle in when our emotional reactions feel too big and we don't know if we have the strength and capacity to work through them, to hold them. Then our brain might allow the wet blanket of depression to come in so that we slow things down. We slow the feelings down so that we don't get overwhelmed, right? These are just symptoms of our mind, body, heart, soul working together, trying its best to support us during tough times. The skeletal quartz can really help us to see when it's something going on outside versus the peace that's actually possible within. That is the message, my friends. I hope that it serves you well. I hope that you have everything that you need. And the message this week is being brought to you by my first online course, which I hope to reveal and begin offering next week on the solstice. It is Root and Bone Work, Module 1. And in this module, we will be diving into the sensation of shame. For myself, shame has been one of the first stumbling blocks that I had to work through in my own path of personal liberation. And so I am offering this work as a map of liberation for yourself as we're moving into the new year. It's the first module of 13, and I hope that if this speaks to you, if you feel called, you will join us on this exploration. Again, I'm going to release details next week. If you would like to get on the pre-reserve list, feel free to shoot me an email or leave a comment below. If you really enjoy these videos or this podcast and it serves you, please do consider leaving a comment, sharing with a friend, or leaving a review. It really helps me to reach more people and support those who are in need of the messages, medicine, and magic that I offer. Thank you so much, and I hope that you have a beautiful and wild week.